Well, good morning, everybody. Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad, and we are headed on an awesome adventure to Europe. So what we're doing in Europe basically is going on a cruise. We are going on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, the Enchantment of the Seas. The reason why we're doing this was because our friends Brent and Lori from America, from Texas, wanted to hang out with us. They want to do a cruise. We've all done cruises together. We find them pretty fun, so that's what we're doing. We're gonna fly from Bangkok to Barcelona, Spain. At Barcelona, we're gonna spend 2 nights. We're actually getting there pretty late in the evening, so I found us a hotel pretty close to the airport. I don't know 100%, but I think it's part of the terminal, or at least in walking distance. And then we're gonna stay there 2 nights. We're gonna meet up with Brent and Lori the following day, and we are going to do a Segway tour. I got to thinking about this later. Lori called and said, hey, can I book this Segway tour? I said, yeah, if you think it's gonna be fun, just go ahead and, as long as we're not, knitting or making dresses or going to a fashion show or, all those fun things, just go ahead and book whatever you want. So I was thinking that she did the Segway tour because she knew that I wasn't really walking very well for my back. But then I thought, well, we're going to be walking, unless she's booked Segway tours on all the other stops. But it may have just been coincidence. But we're going to be there for 2 nights. Most of this trip, guys, is kind of unplanned, unscripted. That's really the way we love to do things. We don't want to have too many expectations, because every time we do that, we find ourselves disappointed. So we know where we're going. We know kind of what to expect as far as the terrain. Like, I looked a lot of stuff on Google Maps. But other than that, I don't really know too much what we're gonna do. And I think our friends are pretty much the same as us. So the next day, we have a full day. The ship actually takes off about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're gonna board the ship about 3:30, and then we have a whole day at sea the next day. Our first stop is gonna be in France, in Monte Carlo. The ship docks at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it boards at 8 p.m. So we have a whole day. And what's good about this cruise, and reason why I wanted to do it, because we don't have to worry about where we're gonna stay, hotels, food, stuff like that. You can eat breakfast on the cruise ship and dinner on the cruise ship and wander around aimlessly all day long in these places without too much stress of, oh, I've got to hurry and get back to the ship. So that is 13 hours we have to roam around if we get off right at 7. But our first stop in France is Monte Carlo. And from Monte Carlo, we're going to head back into France now I looked this up so I didn't misspell it because it's spelled like nice. We're gonna go to Nice. It's a nice place in France. They actually pronounce it there, Nice. We're going to Nice, France. And same thing, 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 p.m. So a full day in Nice. Ought to be a Nice trip. Sorry, that was corny. Our next stop the following day is in Italy. Can't wait to get some pizza. Anyway, we're headed to Genoa, Italy. We are going to be there a little bit shorter time, not much, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So there's probably only so much pizza you can eat in Italy. Our next stop is back in Italy in Portofino. We will be in Portofino from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. all day in Portofino. Then the following day, we are headed back in Italy still in Florence, and we're Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We're gonna be there for a shorter time, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Florence, Italy. Our final stop is going to be in Rome. Our ship docks at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure we've got plenty of time to cattle off of the ship. We've got a place booked inside the city of Rome. I did quite a bit of research. I waited, my friends didn't know if we were actually gonna go because of the circumstance with Mom. And so they had to book their room. And the room that they wanted was already booked up. So we are staying at another place. It's really nice, a really nice place in a different location. But I'm looking forward to that. The research that I was doing in Rome was like it didn't look really good on the outskirts of the city. So, and also rumor had it on the comment section that you wanted to stay as close to the cathedral area as possible. So I don't know what kind of problems they got there. I guess I don't want to be part of it though. So we're gonna stay for 2 nights in Rome, and we're actually going to fly out of Rome back to Bangkok. And from Bangkok, we're actually not going to stay in Bangkok. We are going to get on a plane and head straight here to NakhonPhanom. We're going to be gone 14 days. Our original plan was longer than that. Our original plan was to hang out and see a bunch of other places in Europe outside of the cruise ship. But because of the current situation that's going on in our personal life, we decided to kind of cut it short. But we still have a lot of adventures coming soon after that. Either we're going to make another tour outside of the country, someplace not too far, or we're going to head like to Koh Chang for a couple of weeks with some friends. This is what's going on here real soon, and I hope you guys come with us. We've never done this adventure before. I'm not going to go there and try to tell you how everything is supposed to be and where to stay, places to eat. It's just not going to be that kind of content. We're just going to travel together. We're going to have a good time. We'll of course look at what stuff costs and try not to compare too much. Just enjoy our surroundings and then just relax. I need to relax. That being said, this next part of the video, I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A. I guess you could say kind of a rant. I'm going to respond to some comments. I know there are quite a few people on the comment section that are very sensitive to listening to replies on comments. They don't want to have it mixed in with part of their everyday life videos. So I understand that. So you may want to dial off, and thank you guys for watching this far. I hope you stay with us on the European trip. Okay, now look, I'm going to answer some questions that are constantly getting asked, and I'm not going to point out certain individuals, but in this channel, we just share everyday life, and we bring you guys along, and we discuss things together, and it's like a group effort. So I think some people get confused that this is like Mr. Rogers Show and I'm taking you to the train station, you know, or I'm just telling you exactly how something works. Well, this is basically a thought process on moving to Thailand, giving up all of our worldly possessions and living a carefree life. And we're talking about some of the handicaps that people use to not be able to enjoy life, or their excuses, or they're a victim of whatever and this and that. And we're having discussions throughout our videos about that. But some people don't like to hear about it. They think I'm being sensitive. But
no, wait! Don't go! Why can't I handle this kind of rejection? Why don't you want to stay here with me?
You want to know why, Elliot? Because you're just too sensitive.
I really want to talk about this stuff because I want people to see actually a different perspective. Just, my perspective or what they see in the video, something like that. And it's difficult for people to see something outside of the realms of what they think is right and wrong, or they can't accept things that aren't to their taste, I guess. First question that I've gotten quite a few times, and I don't know why people are so concerned about this. People that watch the channel can probably, and I think most people understand, 99% of the people don't make comments on this channel. Why is mom not going to fly back to America and go to her mom's funeral? So my first thought is, I guess it's really none of your business.
It's none of your business.
But I can't say that because I share everything on the internet. So it's fair to ask these questions. Usually if we do something, it's because that's what we want to do. Normally when we have choices on where we move or what we're going to do that may change our life, we usually discuss it and plan it. And a lot of times I don't carry you guys along with us on that boring part of the day. But me and mom had talked about this scenario prior to my 97-year-old grandmother passing away. So it was kind of coming soon. We were hoping to take a trip back to America to visit. My mom's got a storage shed full of stuff. She's got a couple of things that she wants to take care of, and spending some time with her mom was one of them. So we had talked about what happens if your mom passes away. Well, my mom, first thing is she's like, I don't know, I don't like funerals. Which who does? Nobody really likes funerals. And I said, well, do you want to fly back? She goes, she pretty much decided that she didn't want to. She wasn't 100% yet. And then she got hurt shortly after that. So now things are even more complex. So not only does she not really want to go to a funeral and be upset, she's not really up to getting on a plane in her condition for it's like 30 hours of transient time one way, So she wasn't really looking forward to that. But here's the thing. Let me kind of let you know where me and my mom kind of think on the realms of this. This is why I want to be cremated. Because for me, funerals aren't about the person who's no longer there. It's about everybody else that's around them. Like, oh, well, you should show respect. Well, the respect is that you're showing to the family members that you came to the funeral and this and that. It's like, I don't really think that would affect the person who's already dead. I think it's just a matter of showmanship. But here's the thing, a lot of those people that go to the funeral, where were they at to show respect prior to the funeral? Normally, they're not there. And then after the funeral, where are they to come show respect to help maintain the funeral plot or anything else? Normally they just come and then they go. So it's like a show. And for me, this is the reason why I want to get cremated, because I don't need that. I want people just to remember me for who I was. I want my ashes to be just dumped out into the Indian Ocean is what I want, because I love to travel. And if my wife puts me into the ocean, I will continue to do that. And whatever physical part that's left here on this planet, we'll be able to do that in the ocean. So I don't want anybody to worry about, I got to go visit Dad's grave site. I got to go do this. I don't want to be a burden to nobody. It's already gone. Just remember me for who I am. And my mom thinks the same way. And that's just the way it is, guys. Not everybody can relate to this, but our circumstances, we are directly on the other side of the globe, and my mom really didn't. Now, if my mom said, I want to go, and then we would say, okay, let's make a plan and let's do it. But I would never talk my mom out of doing that. But like it or not, that's the way other people think. And my grandmother will always be in my mom's heart and in my heart. And I don't think the relationship that we've had our entire life with her is going to be affected at the end, you know. Maybe what people's perspective about a final gathering for her, but that doesn't really matter. That's nothing. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I want to talk about Pookie number 2. Pookie number 2 has been in quite a few of our videos. I want to talk to you about her existence here in our home and in our videos. A lot of people watch our channel daily and they know just pretty much exactly what's going on through conversation in our videos. But one day we were doing something at home, which we're rarely here, and a girl pops up. Well, she drove up in a car and she's like, my boyfriend watches you all the time. You know, we do get this quite a bit. I'm like, well, thank you very much. Tell him I appreciate that. And she goes, is it okay if I call him on the phone because he wants to say hi? I'm like, sure, of course, sure. So she gets him on the phone and she points the phone at me and she goes, and she's like, here he is. You happy? I told you I would come. Are you happy now? And then just puts it there. And it's like kind of a little awkward moment. So I think her and Paige talked for a little bit. And then quite a while after that, she showed back up. And I don't remember, like I'd have to go back to watch the videos too. I don't remember how it all played out, why she kept coming by. But her and Paige became friends. And she became really, the Mafias are awesome people. Like they really are fun to be around. And she just enjoyed coming over. But I know Pookie, well, she wasn't really in a serious relationship. Really, she's not in a relationship with anybody. She is single. Nobody has committed to a relationship with her. I know she's enjoying the attention that she's getting on this channel too, but I'm sure every girl's wish is to find a decent human being to partner up with. You know, whether it's a Thai person or a Falang or whatever. I'm sure she would be happy one day to find somebody, but relationships are complicated, especially cultural indifference relationship. Pookie has a lot of responsibility. She has a son. She's divorced for quite a while. She has a son, and she has a mother and a house that she owns in Mukdahan, not too far from here. It's the other city on the other side. And she works right now in NakhonPhanom. She works for the government. She works in the government courthouse. She basically is an investigator. So when she talks to both parties, she investigates them, she writes down the information, and that's kind of what she does. But she's a government worker here, and she's been in that position for, I think she said 14 years. It could be 12. Anyway, it's a long time. And she's a single, smart, independent woman. You know, people asking a lot of questions about her, and that's basically it. I shared a video not too long ago, and I gave you guys her Facebook page, and you guys can communicate with her if you want to. She said she's had to delete a few already. But
hello everyone, I'm fine.
Pookie, I have a lot of people asking a lot of questions about you in my video yesterday. Yeah, you feel like answering them? Okay, we'll answer. We'll see if she could answer a couple of questions here in just a moment. Pookie number 2 is not a family member. Her and Paige were actually born on the same day, but not the same year. People were asking how old she is. I asked her on camera once, but she didn't really answer me, so I didn't feel like I should push the issue. But I will tell you that. I will tell you this is she's Year of the Monkey, and I'm Year of the Monkey. And each year is a 12-year cycle. Well, this is September. This is my birthday month. I will be 55 years old at the end of this month. So if you can count 12 years back, and she's year of the monkey, then you can kind of guess how old she is. I'll just leave it at that. But we all get along pretty good. She's a nice girl, no problems, no drama, and you know, we just really don't think too much about stuff. Next question I want to talk about is I want to talk about this home. And this is, I've made a couple of videos on this, and it's kind of an ongoing subject. And I understand people don't normally see living situations like this, and they're only kind of relating in their mind of their own personal thought process throughout their experiences in life. A lot of it's negative, and I guess I could understand. Like, who the hell would want to go live with their, why would you want to go live with your in-laws? There must be a really bad hardship for you to do that. So that would be the easiest immediate thing to just instantly think, like, something's not right with this guy. Like, he's living with his in-laws in beautiful Thailand. If I was there, I'd be living on a beach somewhere, right? That's easy to think, and I would probably think the same thing, maybe, I don't know. But here's the thing. This is actually my wife's house. My wife, the way it works in a Thai family is the first home usually goes to the first daughter. And that's Paige. She has one brother, Billy, who lives in America. Supposedly one day he's going to come here. They've got a few other properties. Billy didn't want anything to do with this house. He would like me, when I do the restoration of this house, to make him a really nice room here, which is in the plans. But he plans on building another home on one of the other properties. So first and foremost, this is my wife's house. So that's not just the reason why we're living here. We didn't really know at first that this was going to be an ideal thing for us, so we thought we'd give it a try, because I didn't know how it was. They didn't know anything about me, and they were wondering, what am I going to do here? You know, they didn't expect that I would stay either, and I sure didn't know what was going on, and I didn't expect that this would last. But we needed to stay here at first until we could figure out where we wanted to live permanently. That was the original plan. So come to find out, I really enjoyed the Thai style living. Like, when I first got here, my first videos, you could see how goofy and everything was so new to me that I had about me. And I'd never experienced this type of family living before, and I really enjoyed it. And my mother-in-law and well, mostly just my mother-in-law said, you can do anything you want to the house, because the kitchen was like very, very Neanderthalic. So I said, well, can I get a couple of things? Because I could see everybody's tight in the kitchen. I said, look, can we get something with more counter space and some, you know, I'll buy it and we'll fix it up. She's like, yes, do whatever you want to do. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, but Paige's father doesn't do anything unless something is completely unfixable anymore. Like their old refrigerator, which I have upstairs, has been fixed a few times. So I bought a new refrigerator and some cabinet space, and they were like, really loved it. My father-in-law, he's the kind of person where he's a giver, not a taker. So if you ask him, he's like, oh, no, 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 no. So I've learned throughout the years, you can't ask him. You got to ask the mother-in-law, and she says yes or no. She always says yes because she wants to do, it's a 40-year-old house, so there needs to be some upgrades done. But ultimately, this is my wife's house, and we decided that we were going to stay here as long as we could, and we would just travel. And because we travel so much, most of our time throughout the year is traveling, we just consider this mostly our home base. When we're gone, they miss us dearly. My mother-in-law is really close to Paige. If we ever decided to move, she would be pretty upset. She would understand, but she would be upset that she doesn't have her daughter near her anymore. So, and sometimes Paige wants to go too on trips, because sometimes they like, can you help do this or do that? And Paige is like, oh, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much because her mom's not feeling good or something like that. So Paige needs a little vacation sometimes too. But, you know, I'm pretty open-minded to staying anywhere in Thailand, and I know Paige is too. We think a lot, that's why we're still together. We would never buy anything in Thailand. That's just us personally. Why would we when we already have this? Why would we go purchase something else when we could rent easily somewhere? And we've tried staying other places for longer. We say we're going to stay for a long time and we end up leaving because we get bored. We want to travel. I really like Ao Nang, Krabi, but I can't stay there probably. Even if we were to say, okay, we're renting this place for 6 months, what the hell am I going to do there? I just don't want to go back to that lifestyle of that anymore. I just enjoy traveling around. But I know a lot of people, they think at first that it's a financial thing, but I'm here to tell you, traveling is not cheap. I mean, you guys probably, the ones complaining probably don't realize that because they spend most of their time at home worrying about what I'm doing. It's not expensive. I mean, it's not cheap. Like, we probably spend more money in 1 week traveling than those particular individuals spend in a month on whatever they're renting. So it's not cheap, and yeah, it's what we want to do. It's what we enjoy. And our plan before the you-know-what was to travel the world, and that's what we're doing now. But this ultimately will be our home base forever. But what does forever mean? You know, as of right now, that's our plan. You know, one thing I really enjoy a lot about Thailand is people here, well, really in Asia, they mind their own business for the most part. I will say, if you speak some of their language, they will ask you a lot of questions. But your day-to-day activities that you do, nobody's coming up to you asking you, what are you doing, or looking at you, wondering what you're doing, or this. Nobody's like that. And I feel like in the West, people are so concerned and busy about what we're doing in our personal life, and then they judge you to whatever they think the standard should be. And I don't really get that here. I've been here 7 years now, and I can live like a tourist, and nobody expects anything like me, and that's just the way I want it. I don't need to put myself on a plateau. I don't need to say, well, I've been here this long, and I know these many things, and I've done this and that, because nobody really cares, you know? And I don't ever want to be like the smartest person in Thailand, like I've done so much, you need to listen to me. I hope I never become that person ever. So, because I think you miss out on a lot of things if you think you know everything. Let's talk a little bit about Mom's health condition, what's going on with her. I'm happy that we've got her where she's at. She's extremely happy with her situation with transportation. We got really lucky on that. We got her basically a chauffeur and somebody that'll come to her doorstep, help her with her stuff downstairs, and it's all good. She's very happy with her place. No place is perfect, but she's really enjoying herself. She's getting a lot more exercise because she's having to walk around and do things. I'm trying to get her to start a little garden on the back porch to keep her occupied. She's starting to walk now without her cane in that soft, fluffy grass on the back porch to try to work on her stability. Mom wasn't the strongest person prior to her getting hurt, but we were working on that. And we had already talked about moving her back to here before she got injured. We just didn't know the time frame because Mom was not really doing good health-wise. She found herself basically sitting in that house, not really doing much. So it wasn't healthy for her, and she knew it wasn't healthy for her. And we had decided prior to her getting hurt that she needed to be closer to us so that we could help each other in a better way. We never planned on her staying here in this house. She's not really one to hang out with a whole lot of group of people. Like, the mafias are kind of rough, you know. It's like being around teenagers. That's not for everybody either. But Mom's seeing a physical therapist twice a week. The therapist is on vacation for a couple weeks, but if I need to bump it up to 3-4 times a week to get her motivated enough to be strong, I'll do that. I have backed off from trying to push her. I do ask her all the time because I'm concerned about her. Did you do this? Did you do that? Are you going to do this? What are you doing? And that irritates a lot of people from where they're sitting and watching the video, but they got to understand like where we're at on the planet. Like I'm in Thailand, she's here. Ultimately, whatever happens to my mom is going to affect me and mom because I'm ultimately responsible. And like, believe it or not, like the other people, I'm not just going to say, okay, mom, you do what you want to do. You want to go do whatever, it's on you. I'm not going to do that. I want my mom to be successful. I want her to be happy. And these are some of the things that she hasn't had in her life in a long time. And she doesn't know how to do it. And she kind of needs a little help being over here. But she's become a completely different person on her own just from being over here in Thailand. So also feeling a lot healthy with the quality of foods that are here versus over there. But ultimately, whatever happens to my mom, good or bad, physically and mentally, it's my problem. Like I'm still responsible for the outcome of her. So anybody that's ever been a caretaker or taking care of their family understands this. Whatever your mother or whatever your family member does ultimately is going to affect you because you're the one that's actually responsible for that person. So that being said, mom's got all the choices in the world. Everything is in her hand, but she's limited. She doesn't want to go back to the United States. What would she do there? She doesn't have any family there. She has her sister, who's got a very busy life, and my brother, who is 10 years younger, my half-brother, who lives in Ohio, who's got a very busy life too. So not much my mom could do back, and she just doesn't want to be there. We've talked about many scenarios there for her, and neither one of those were appealing to her. So what we're doing is what we want to do at this moment. And yeah, my mom is going to be fine. She's going to be successful. We'll figure out a way to keep moving forward. And if it doesn't work, we'll make changes until we become successful. That's what people do to become successful. They just fail, make a correction, and keep moving forward. I talk too much about that. Let's talk about taxes. I don't want to talk about this too much because I could probably drag it on for an hour. A lot of people send me stuff about, stupid videos I could care less about, mostly hearsay, this or that. It's drama. Everybody likes drama. The comments that I get from these people are never positive. The ones that understand what's going on, they're not commenting, which is most people. But it's on the lines of, oh, you just wait. The tax man's coming for you. Your days are numbered. And it's like, what is wrong with you people? You people are like children. Like you've never paid a tax bill in your life. Like you've ever gone up to a grown-ass man and said, do you pay taxes? I'm just going to assume that you're a derelict. Like those guys have no idea what's going on in real life when it comes to that. So yes, we pay taxes. Yes, this is in my wife's name. A lot of these things really don't matter to anybody else. But for some reason, I think it's been a touchy subject because people want to see other YouTubers get kicked off. Like, oh, this guy's a farce. Like, he's just no time to be sad. That guy, I hope he falls and breaks his neck. That's how these people are. But here's the thing. Like, you can look up double taxation rules, what percentage you have to pay versus what most of the Western countries have a tax. America has a tax treaty with Thailand. You can just take your smartphone and say, here, let me show you real quick. Hey, Google, what is the tax treaty with the United States and Thailand? And then it'll give you a whole bunch of information on that. If you're really, I don't think they're really concerned about it. I think they're just hoping for the worst. Here's how it works, guys. If you start a Google YouTube channel in Thailand, then everything is related to Thailand. And that's not our situation. Our situation was started in the United States. So all the money, none of the money that we make comes into Thailand. So we're not really financing our life. Okay, let me back up. We're not financing our visa from money that's made outside of Thailand or inside of Thailand or any of that. I have a retirement account that's been there since I started, and I don't have any money from outside coming into Thailand that's taxable income. So if you want to say I'm doing wrong, prove that I'm living here off of working. Like working for what? Like making videos? First off, that being said, a lot of these people probably never owned a business and they don't understand cost of doing business. So let's just say I'm a big time movie producer and I'm going to produce, well, maybe not so big time. Let's say I'm going to produce a movie in Thailand and the movie is successful. I made $100,000 in the makings of this video. $1,000 I made. Well, here's how that works. So the camera, the crew, the food that's eaten during the making of it, the hotels, all of the stuff that it costs to actually make this video possible was not free. It's cost of doing business. You have equipment. Maybe you have to rent a vehicle. Maybe to be on a certain location, you had to rent these hotels. Maybe you had to hire people to do stuff for you. You know, there's a lot of things that, it's not like the guy said, hey, I'm gonna make a video. Now I'm gonna pay taxes on all of this $100,000 because maybe he only made like $2,000, you know, after he paid everybody else. So you really think the government's gonna say, oh, well, you made $100,000, you gotta pay taxes on that. No, it's cost of doing business. So I hate to inform these people, but it cost actually way more money to make a video it costs way more money for me to make a video than Google will ever pay me. We pay taxes in the United States because we get a 1099. I'm obligated to the taxes that comes out of America first, and then Thailand second. So I'm like negative every time. I don't make enough money on YouTube to pay for making videos. Imagine that. Imagine that. Like I'm not some rich, successful YouTuber. The videos don't make that much money. And I don't know if you guys probably, those people haven't traveled that much, but to stay in a hotel, to eat the food that we're showing on the video, to drive there, you know, all the things it takes that I have in this video to create content was not free. And the government doesn't expect you to do all this stuff. They understand what profit is and they understand what cost of doing business here. So my father-in-law has a business here too. Paige actually does his taxes for him. There's actually cost of doing business here in Thailand as well. So my father-in-law is not, if he sells a tuk-tuk for $120,000, you just think he's gonna pay $120,000 worth of tax? I'm sorry, baht. 120,000 baht worth of tax. I don't think anybody would do that, you know, because it didn't just appear. It had to be made from something, and somebody had to make it. But anyway, there are some people living in Thailand off of YouTube, and great for them. That's awesome that people can actually do that. I mean, that's so much better than working some worthless job somewhere that you probably hate. To be able to be clever enough to be entertaining and make something that is appealing to others and make it profitable, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's awesome. I congratulate those people. But the other people that can't, I think they enjoy watching it too and don't have a problem, but the very small portion of people that are, I guess you could say jealous. I don't like to use that word, but maybe that's what it is. They want to see them fail for whatever reason so they can go do something below them, I guess. But those people, if they're here, if they come to Thailand and say, look, I don't have any money, I need to work, this is what I do, and then the visa says, okay, you can stay here, you have to make this much, you know, you have to show you're making this much money, or whatever the work visa says, then that's what they have to do. So, but I mean, if you're coming to Thailand on a retirement visa and you have the funds in your account and you do videos like on Facebook, is that like working or something? Or if you're making videos at all on the internet but you're not monetized because you don't have enough followers. Is that working in Thailand? But if you're making money on the video, but it still costs you more to make the money on the video, so your profit is like nothing, is that really like working in Thailand? I don't get that, and I don't think a lot of people do. But anyway, I could go on about this, and I know it doesn't matter. I'm not going to defend those people like me that do these things, because these people, they don't care. They have their own way of thinking, and that's basically it. But I'll end it with this. Look, I've been doing this here for 7 years. I have friends of the family that are immigration. I have immigration that's members of my channel. I have a lawyer that takes care of all of our stuff. If you guys need to get a work permit, you can check in the description box. You can contact him. He'll hook you up with a work permit. These people don't need to worry about what any other person is doing in their personal tax obligation. But anyway, I'm still just a visitor here. I'm only allowed to be here on a yearly basis. I haven't been in Thailand for over 90 days in a long time because we've been traveling. I have a multiple entry visa, which means I can travel in and out of the country. And I'm allowed to video outside, inside, and I'm basically just a tourist with a camera. So, like it or not, that's the way it is. Anyway, guys, thank you for following through on the second part. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of comments in the queue. But anyway, that's how I think about it. And if you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. We should be able to go on with life knowing that other people don't think like we do. We'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.